All right, this is a 2006 Cayenne 3.2 V6, even though it's not a V. But we're taking the intake manifold off to replace the valve cover gasket. First thing we had to do was disconnect the coil packs. You do that by, that's a broken one. Some of them might break, like those three. You do that by kind of pressing that upwards, and it'll pull up off of the coil, and then you pull it back. So once you get all 6 of those disconnected, what I did is you got to remove this PCV valve thing. It's a 5mm Allen bolt right back there, and then these, you press them in and pull them right off. Undid the wiring from this side, which you have one for this valve right here, and then a connector for the throttle body. So I did those, and you can kind of put that to the side, or I keep it over there. Then I disconnected this hose back here. I left this part on the manifold, the white part, and I just unplugged the hose right there. One more hose, which was plugged in right there, disconnected like that. And then finally this one for the PCV system, which you have to press in both sides and pull out. So I'm going to disconnect that one now, and then we'll be going to the other side and doing that. All right, we removed the plastics on that side and this side to have more room. You're going to need it in the rear and on this side for the intake manifold to kind of reach all the stuff down here.
Action.
All right, so I'm currently unbolting the manifold now. It has quite a bit of bolts. It has quite a bit of bolts that are in these little valleys. So like the first one, you can see it right there, and then second one, and so on. So you unbolt all of those, and there's 2 studs right here that have nuts on them that are a bracket holding it down. And then once I unbolt that and all the other bolts, we'll come back and see what it looks like. I know there's this valve over here that has to be all the vacuum connections taken off, so we'll see that once it's wiggleable. All of the intake manifold bolts are 6mm Allen. All right, so we got the intake manifold, all the bolts that hold it to the head loose and out. There's a mounting point right here and one in the back. Ooh. All right, PCV stuff's out of the way. Wiring harness is in the way. There's also one connection right here that has a quick disconnect. It's not very quick, but that needs to come off.
Oh, stuck here actually on my side.
What's it looking like down there? On the intake side of the manifold, all it had was one connection right here, and then the bracket right here, and then there's another bracketry right here that kind of just comes right off, along with the 9 bolts that hold it to the head. And the vacuum actuator on the side of the manifold, this is where it connects to, this braided line. And then this is the other bracket that is in the bottom. It kind of just pushes in right there. It has these 2 grommets. Now that it's all off, you can see the pretty valves, and you can get to the valve cover. To remove the coil packs, you twist them while pulling them straight up, and they will eventually come. They are pretty tight. There is 2 T30s in the front you have to take out. So on the back side of the valve cover, there's 3 5mm Allens that need to be taken out. So this bracket can be pushed back, and you take the corner bolts out of the valve cover. Now, it's just a matter of getting all these 10mm bolts out, and then the valve cover should pop off. All right, once you have all those off, valve cover pops off. You can check the slack on your timing chain. If it's loose, that might be something to look at. Make sure to take all these grommets off before you put the new ones in, and then you're reassembling. All right, so you need to apply RTV right there where that crack is, because that's where the front cover meets the head. So you need to apply RTV there and on that side. And I always put some in the corners down there for tight corners. So that's where I'm going to be putting some as well. All right, and I torqued all these down to tight. I don't know the torque spec, but they kind of bottom out and you feel it. Do not over torque them. This is actually the only
camera guy.
Yeah, there. I'm gonna put the intake back on, and We're gonna have to gently put it in there somehow. I don't know how, but we'll do it. And we gotta make sure to connect this connection right here to this braided line and try to put this back on that bracket. And then we should be good to go. It goes like that. Alrighty. All right, now we need to be careful around. That actually wasn't that bad.
Slide it up.
Stuck. Yeah, it's actually stuck. A little more.
That's
Back it up.
Lovely.
Back it up.
Car's broken.
Bend it up. Oh, that's what shattered to pieces your injector connector. Good thing those aren't important. All right, let's try it again.
All right.
Let's try it again. Here. Actually, take that out of the way too. All right. Oh, that works surprisingly well.
You didn't even have to pull it forward either. It just fell right in.
Dipstick was in the way.
Chat.
All right, you gonna tell the people what they want to hear, or are we gonna cut this?
All right, so we took out the top of the dipstick right there, and it kind of just slid right in. I moved this ball valve that was on that bracket. I moved that back out of the way, and it slid right in. So, highly recommend doing that. Now we got to put all these back in, tighten them to tight, and then we'll be on the road to finishing today.
Slid right in. You just had to move the balls around.